following is a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
Coming up on News 3 on Live at 4, a nationwide system alert will be sending you a text tomorrow. Find out why.
New renovations to a Macomb stable are close to being finished. News 3 takes you on an inside look at the renovations.
Over the weekend, we had cooler temperatures. Find out if that chilly weather sticking around will be in your 5-day forecast. That's later on Live at 4.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. News 3 starts now.
We begin with continuing coverage of the proposed defunding of Tri-States Public Radio at WIU. Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. I'm Devin Brooks.
And I'm Terrence Black. On Friday, more than half a dozen public radio supporters came to speak out at WIU's Board of Trustees meeting.
The speakers called on the administration to rethink the decision and explain how they decided to cut state-appropriated funding from Tri-States.
This is total incompetence. The administrators pushing this should be fired and their pay used to fund the station. And you, the trustees, are the final checks and balances in this system.
You need to defund. If you need to cut funding, do a phase down.
We will go forward together like Eisenhower with wisdom, positivity, and enthusiasm.
Officials with Tri-States say they must raise $660,000 by June 30th to cover the funding lost on March 1st.
The WIU Board of Trustees approves the 2020 budget recommendations with a $17 million increase. They met last Thursday to discuss items like personnel and union agreements. The approved 2019 budget includes $2 million to support salaries, $5 million for maintenance, and $2 million for student financial aid. The WIU operating budget for fiscal year 2019 is $230 million. And the capital budget request to fund campus infrastructure projects is $360 million. The board plans to meet again on December 13th and 14th.
College financial aid season has started. Students looking for loans for the next school year are now applying for FAFSA. October is College Changes Everything Month in Illinois. Make sure to apply for federal aid as early as possible, as some forms of aid come on a first-come, first-served basis. Look for events in your area if you have questions about how to file for FAFSA. To apply for federal student aid, visit the link on your screen. Well, last Friday was the groundbreaking for the Gwendolyn Brooks Memorial Park. News 3's Zach Martin has the report.
Gwendolyn Brooks already has a center named in her honor. Now, she has a park. Led by Western Illinois University President Jack Thomas, Illinois State Senator Kimberly Lightford, and the daughter of Brooks, the Gwendolyn Brooks Memorial Park was groundbroken on the corner of West Adams and North Normal Street. The location of the park is where the old Gwendolyn Brooks Cultural Center was held.
Gwendolyn Brooks was an author, a poet, and a humanitarian, and has written great poetry, so this is an opportunity to honor her here at Western Illinois University.
It's the first phase of a two-phase project. Lightford, a 1991 graduate of WIU, says she can't wait for the park to be finished.
I think it's really important that we do not let her legacy die of poetry and writing and reading and just the importance of who Gwendolyn Brooks stood for and how it associates with students here on campus and also the community of Macomb.
Brooks was a Pulitzer Prize-winning poet, the first African American to win the Pulitzer. Hopefully, the park can inspire other students to be like Brooks.
It was like a safe haven, a place to kind of hang out away from your dorm, but still on campus, and it brought all of us together.
This is just going to be a memorial park in honor and in memory of her.
For News 3, I'm Zach Martin.
President Thomas doesn't know when the park will be finished. The second phase of the project has yet to be announced.
A new RC Raceway is having their ribbon cutting ceremony. The Macomb Park District has added a new facility for remote control vehicles. The raceway is located at Veterans Park. The ribbon cutting will begin at 11:30 a.m. at the park. Macomb City Council has given a go-ahead for the new fraternity to move into 830 Avery Street. Frat Sigma Chi, will house at that location. The residence was last housed by Delta Sigma Phi. No word on when the fraternity plans to move in. The Illinois Department of Transportation has announced that U.S. Highway 34 in Galesburg will reopen this week. The opening was delayed because of recent storms. The route has been closed since April for various road repairs. Drivers are urged to pay attention to signs in the work zones and refrain from using mobile devices while driving.
The Lemoyne, also known as the Lemoyne Hotel, is closer to opening as a new retirement home for senior citizens. And I was able to get an inside look at the almost finished renovations. The Lemoyne Hotel was built back in the mid-1920s. Over the years, it had fallen into disrepair, but now it's been turned into a retirement home. Executive Director Annette Carper showed me the $6 million renovations. This is the basement lounge area, where there's a room for residents to use computers or play pool. Under construction is a laundry room and chapel. A special addition to the lower level is a movie theater.
We want to be, as I said, resident driven, lots of fun activities, and whatever the residents want, that's what we'll do.
There are 4 residential floors, 2 for assisted living and 2 for memory care. This apartment is for assisted living.
Bathrooms are nice size.
The assisted living rooms come furnished with a kitchen area, microwave, and refrigerator. This is a memory care room for residents with dementia or Alzheimer's.
Color here is there because sometimes folks with dementia will get lost. Their food gets lost on their plate. So if there's color on the side there, then they can find their food more easily.
And no matter the residents' struggles, the Lemoyne's goal is to make it feel like home. The city funded most for these renovations. Officials don't know when they'll open up until after inspections are done by the state, but they still plan to open sometime this fall.
Your cell phone will be getting a text tomorrow from the government, but don't worry. State agencies are asking residents to be aware of the Emergency Alert System test. Residents will receive a message that reads, "This is a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. No action is needed." The test will begin after 1 p.m. It was first established 12 years ago, but the first time that the wireless emergency alert system will be tested on a cell phone on the national level, Cell phones should only receive the message once. Some older phones will not receive the message at all. For more information about the upcoming alert, visit news3wiu.com.
Should students be worried about crime on campus? The Office of Public Safety recently released their annual security report this past week. Research from NEWS3 shows that the number of arrests and referrals trended up last year as the total amount of drug, liquor, and weapons offenses rose from 2016 to 2017. The actual amount of total crimes reached 600 in 2017 compared to 553 crimes in the previous year.
Coming up on News 3 Live at 4, what kitchen utensils could be making your food less nutritious?
Stick around for today's Health Minute.
Why I love to do sports anchoring? Because, it's talking about sports. I decided to come to Western because I wanted an experience that wasn't like some other schools. I did color commentary for one volleyball game. I was terrified. I never did any broadcasting in high school, but when I was talking, it was all, staggered, and I had no idea what I was saying. And now I've done so many different games as a color commentator, play-by-play, now sports anchor. Every show and every game, it gets easier and easier, and I get more comfortable doing it.
I'm Ferdinand. You look at me and think big. You think scary, but I'm a little misunderstood. Buddy! Sorry, I almost killed you. We've all been misunderstood. You're not a fighter.
Oh, I don't understand that at all.
Kids with learning and attention issues like dyslexia and ADHD are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand.
Best plan ever!
With the right support, everyone can reach their full potential because you can't judge a bull by his color. Learn more at understood.org.
No doubt you're going places, young lady.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview as well. I can imagine it was the last thing that you wanted to do after such a long campaign meeting.
You really are a very intelligent young woman. You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
You have no idea.
I want to be able to stand in front of a camera and tell people the story of what the weather's going to be like that day, or be able to tell people, hey, there's something coming your way, you need to take cover, you need to watch out. And being able to stand in front of a camera and tell not only people who are directly involved but their family members as well, like, this is what's going on. It's been very important to me because, you know, being in those situations where you are relying on the news to tell you what's going on, I like to be a part of that and helping people with that.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. Live at 4 continues.
Welcome back. We have a health alert tonight. Is a crucial kitchen appliance used by millions of people every day zapping the nutrients out of your food? Kim Hutchison has more.
When hunger strikes, there's a quick fix. The microwave. From popcorn to leftovers, it's the go-to for on-the-go heating. But is it frying key nutrients out of your food? The answer lies in the type of food you're cooking and how long you're cooking it for. The longer food is cooked, the more nutrients are lost. Temperature matters. The higher the heat, the less nutrient benefits. Liquids are also a big factor. If you're cooking with water, nutrients will drain from your foods and into the liquid. So the more water you're cooking with, the more nutrients you're losing. Experts say any type of cooking will strip food of some nutrients, and microwaving actually results in a very minimal loss of health benefits. Heating or steaming food in a microwave usually requires little to no liquid compared to cooking food in a boiling pot of water. Also, foods cooked in a conventional oven are exposed to excessive heat, increasing the potential for nutrient loss. So, should you abandon your quick fix friend, the microwave? Answer, no. In fact, experts say steaming is better than submerging your food in water. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Macomb residents and WIU students will have a chance to support a good cause tomorrow afternoon just by buying food. The WIU Fallen Soldiers 5K and West Jackson Street McDonald's are hosting a Fallen Soldiers Night. Using a free coupon that is available at the locations on your screen, residents will be able to donate to the Fallen Soldiers Scholarship Fund when buying food from McDonald's from 5 to 7 p.m. For more information on the Fallen Soldiers 5K, visit news3wiu.com.
As the temperature continues to fall, the risk of a fire in or around your home goes up. The Illinois Fire Marshal wants to remind you to have a fire-free fall. Protect your home by cleaning sticks and leaves out of your gutter. If you're going to have a bonfire, make sure to keep the pit away from your house. As far as your Halloween decorations go, make sure to use flame-retardant materials and battery-powered lights. Space heaters should be kept away from curtains and other items in your home.
We felt the weather cooling down over the last couple of days.
We did, but will this trend continue throughout the week? Molly Naslin has your 5-day forecast after the break. I chose Western Illinois University because I could get involved right away. You're going to gain experience. I'm going to be able to just become successful right out the gate. I'll be a news reporter and eventually become a news anchor one day. I've always felt that as a strong speaker, I could be a voice for the voiceless. But as long as I continue to believe in myself, work hard, and show that I want to put my best foot forward, I think that anything is possible.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Create your success at Western Illinois University. Automatic scholarships and a
affordable education, and more are all yours at Western Illinois University. Apply today at wiu.edu.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Good afternoon and welcome back, Macomb. We did see some of those cooler temperatures over the weekend. However, we are seeing a bit of a warm up in our area as we go out throughout the week. Unfortunately, we are seeing some of those cloudy skies. The sun is breaking through occasionally, but not as much as what we would like. Winds are gentle out of the west at 2 miles per hour. Very high humidity, though we don't have a whole lot going on in the atmosphere right now. And our dew point is at 62, so there's not a whole lot of a distance temperature-wise between our dew point and what our temperature is, and it was like that yesterday. That's why we were able to see fog early in the morning. Our averages, we are right around average for what we should be at about this time of the year. Again, the spooky season has started with October kicking off yesterday. We have had highs in the 90s before. We aren't going to be seeing that. We might get close, though, in the next coming days. Our current surface map, we have a bit of a low pressure system up to our northwest. It's going to be moving through our area, causing a little bit of a stir in the atmosphere. We will see the chance for some rain later on in the week. However, our chances are small and the rain will not be very widespread. Again, our current surface radar, not a whole lot going on in the area, but we do have those clouds present. That's actually keeping some of the heat in our area, making it so that the heat cannot escape through the atmosphere. But temperatures across the region, again, 71 degrees right now with some 80s across the board, 80 in Quincy, 80 in Beardstown. Unfortunately, here in Macomb, we are in the 70s. We will see a warm up later on tonight. We're going to get down into the 60s across the area. Not a whole lot of variation, mid to upper 60s for the region. Tomorrow is when we're going to start seeing that warm up with 88 degrees in Macomb tomorrow for our high. We have 90s across in some areas, Quincy and Beardstown. We have 86 in Keokuk. Looking for tomorrow night, we're going to get down not as cold into the 50s for tomorrow night, with one little warm spot at Springfield. We'll be at 61 tomorrow night, but it is going to be a little bit chilly still. Partly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 64. Winds are going to pick up just a little bit out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. Again, with those parting clouds, we're going to see some more of our heat escaping into the atmosphere. Tomorrow, we're going to see warm, but it's not going to feel like that because look at that wind. We're going to be seeing the wind shift to the southwest at 22 miles per hour. That's not the gust. That's the sustained wind speed. It's going to be extremely windy tomorrow, so it won't feel as warm as what it might be outside. But for our 5-day forecast, again, we're going to have 88 degrees. We're going to drop that back down on Thursday. We're going to jump back up again on Friday to 81 with a chance of thunderstorms in the morning. Unfortunately for our weekend, although we are going to see nice temperatures, we do have a rain chance for the whole weekend with some scattered thunderstorms.
Well, thanks, Molly. That's 22 miles per hour for wind. That's pretty strong, wouldn't you say?
Normally, you would see gusts that are about that strong, but this is our sustained wind speed of 22 miles per hour of just sustained wind. So even though it's going to be about 88 degrees tomorrow, that wind's not going to let it feel like that, but the wind is because of that drastic temperature change from today being in just the 70s to tomorrow being in the 80s. That temperature change is what's picking our wind speeds up.
When is the weather ever not a roller coaster in Illinois?
You know, that's actually a really good question. It's something to keep you on your toes, though.
Yeah, and speaking of that change, on Saturday we had the football game, and it was cold, but we got a win, right?
We got a win, and it's amazing. It's October, and we have a lot to look forward to this month. Coming up next in sports, more action on the gridiron as the Macomb High Bombers took on the West Hancock Titans, and the Leathernecks were back in action against the Penguins. The Bombers tried to keep their playoff chances alive against the Titans of West Hancock in NEWS3's Game of the Week, and the Leathernecks looked for win number 2 on homecoming against the Youngstown State Penguins.
Do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
I learned broadcasting for 3 years in high school, so towards my senior year, I was pretty much invested in wanting to pursue a career. And I do enjoy it now, but I'm searching for a way to make sure that it's something that I want to pursue after college. That way, I'll be able to wake up every day and say, this is something I want to do, this is something that I love, this is something that I can teach, I can spread, I can affect people with.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in the shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
On Friday, the Macomb Bombers hosted the West Hancock Titans in News 3's Game of the Week. Macomb had a lot to play for in this one as their playoff chances were low after dropping 2 consecutive matches. The Bombers ready to rumble on their home soil, and here they come as they are ready for a good matchup here against the Titans. A young man who we covered in News 3's Game of the Week, Bryce Allen Wilson. He cuts right through the heart of the Macomb defense for a big gain. This is not the last you'll hear of Wilson on this drive. More West Hancock, and that means more Bryce Allen Wilson. We'd talk about it more. Look at the man going right on into the end zone for the touchdown, making it 6-0. They were up 6-0, and Allen converts the 2-point conversion, making it 8-0. He was unstoppable, to be honest, and you just keep it going. The Titans not using Bryce Allen Wilson this time. Macomb defense locks up the middle, but Bajan Dooley, the number 2 man in this 1-2 punch, takes it in for the score as the Macomb faithful were looking for something to cheer about. We move on. The Bombers getting a stop here. Nice play, and they must have heard the call. McKenna Gabriel had the stop there. As we continue, VJ Lane, the quarterback, looking deep into the end zone. That is a score for the Bombers as Lane finds Carter Sutton for a late touchdown. It was a little bit too little, too late. The Titans run and run some more. Macomb not able to catch them often enough, dropping this one 44-15. Macomb falls to a record of 2-4 on the season. They will take on Quincy Notre Dame next week. After a big win against Montana and then a bye week, the Western Illinois Leathernecks were back in action on the gridiron this past Saturday afternoon. Western Illinois trying to get their record back to 500 at 2-2. Their opponent, the Youngstown State Penguins. Western Illinois coming to the field on homecoming Saturday as they got ready to battle the Penguins coming out of Western Hall there. They had a big matchup as the Leathernecks looked to make it a 500 season, as we mentioned. Early on, it was the Leathernecks looking good. Sean McGuire looking into the end zone, and he finds Adam Conradi in the end zone for an early touchdown for the Leathernecks. They tried to go for 2. Here's McGuire looking for Steve McShane, but he had nowhere to go as McShane and McGuire could not get it done. It was 6-0 early. The Penguins would have answers with Tevin McCaster, a touchdown run up the middle. The point after was good, and the Penguins had the lead at 7-6. The Leathernecks got it right back, though, with this Sam Crow's 35-yard field goal, making it 9-7 right through the uprights. Later in the first half, Sean McGuire takes it himself right up the middle for the score. Western has 16-7 lead heading into the locker room. Now coming on out for the second half, and it was more offense for the Leathernecks. Steve McShane taking the handoff, and he would take it to the house. As Bears announcer Jeff Joniak once said, but for Devin Hester in this case, Steve McShane, you are ridiculous. Another big touchdown run for Steve McShane as the Leathernecks were up big, a field goal for the Penguins would be put through as the Leathernecks continued here on this offensive onslaught. This man, a big pass from McGuire into the end zone. Another touchdown for the Leathernecks, finding a lineman in the end zone. Reminds you a little bit of the fridge. And then Van Gorder, the quarterback for the Penguins does get some life going. A touchdown pass there. Their two-point conversion was good as Tevin McCaster would take it right up the middle. Western was up by just 6 at this point, but Sean McGuire, and this is, you might recognize this name, some broadcasting students, finds Zeke LaSure in the end zone for the touchdown, a fellow Leatherneck broadcasting student right there. Now McGuire once again looking in the end zone, and he finds Conradi again. This time that was the two-point conversion. Leatherneck still with a good lead here. Now Rektorski with the reception, taking it into the end zone. The Leathernecks are up big at this point. This point. Van Gorder and the Penguins did continue to fight back with back-to-back passes from Van Gorder into the end zone. As here's the second one of those two back-to-back passes. The Leathernecks would win it 45-38. The final. The Penguins' late offensive push isn't enough to catch Jared Elliott's Leathernecks. Quarterback Sean McGuire was 22 of 34 with 324 yards and 4 touchdowns. Steve McShane led the way between the tackles with 12 carries, 134 yards, and 1 touchdown. And the Leathernecks head to Normal to take on the Redbirds of Illinois State next week. The Major League Baseball season is 162 games long, normally. However, this season it took 1 extra game in 2 different divisions to decide who would be playing in the wild card matchup tonight. Yesterday, the Cubs and Brewers played a tiebreaker for the NL Central Division crown, and this is how it ended.
Right field, playable. Roxton, game over, division over. The Brewers are champions of the Central.
So things didn't end quite well for the Cubbies, but they do play tonight on ESPN against the Colorado Rockies in the NL wildcard game. The winner will take on the same Brewers on Thursday in the National League Division Series. That's sports. Find out how WIU students were offered employment opportunities today, next after the break.
I understand. I know it's not your typical resume.
Okay, well...
But candidate. But I've been working double shifts just to pay for books. I've been raising my 2 little brothers. I'm determined, driven, motivated. Isn't that what you're looking for?
Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I started to think about doing broadcasting my freshman year. I started calling some football games for the freshman football team. My high school didn't really have a broadcasting program like some do, and so a lot of my stuff was just PA for different sports, for basketball, for volleyball. And my mom signed me up for a visit to come to Western on a Discover Western Day. And I walked through the doors of the rec center, and Buzz Hoon shook my hand, said, "Zach Stone, I've seen all your footage, I know who you are, and you belong here." And that's what really makes WIU feel like home.
WIU students had the opportunity to meet potential employers today. 62 organizations and 17 graduate departments came out for a career fair held earlier in the Union Grand Ballroom.
That's right. The fair was hosted by the Career Development Center. The next event will be held in early March of next year.
All right. That's always a great opportunity. And Molly, looks like we have a soaker coming this weekend.
No, we do have a little bit coming up, but we'll probably be taking a look at that on Thursday, though.
All right, thank you. That's all from us today.
But we are online all the time. Stay up to date with us, news3wiu.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just search our handle, News3.
You can also search for us on YouTube and subscribe.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
From all of us at News 3, have a good night, Macomb.